Let me ask you a question and like genuinely think about it. Who are you when nobody knows you? Not the version of you that your classmates know. Who are you when nobody knows your past? Nobody knows your mistakes. Nobody knows the embarrassing things you've done. And nobody has already decided who you get to be. I think about this question a lot because I feel like when I moved from Dominican Republic to Miami, I realized that I was letting other people's opinions affect me so much. I know moving countries is a big thing and not everyone can really relate to that type of experience, but I think everyone can relate to wanting a fresh start. The feeling of wanting to walk into a room and to just be seen for who you are now and not who you were 5 years ago or not who someone said you were. And with school starting, I think it is a perfect time to talk about that. Because a new school year isn't just about new classes and new teachers, it's about you asking yourself, who am I becoming? Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Finding Us podcast. I'm your host, Isabella Caveda. And if you couldn't tell, I'm wearing my glasses today. I never wear my glasses, and I'm realizing that it's giving me headaches. It is torturing me. I literally can't see anything. So I am forcing myself to start wearing my glasses, and that begins here. Today's episode is honestly something I've been wanting to make for a while because I feel like it's shaped me in many ways. I think a lot of people go through life carrying versions of themselves that other people created. Maybe someone said something about you a few years ago, or they believe that you did something, or a rumor spread. And all of a sudden, that is who you are. Maybe you've outgrown the person that you used to be, you're not that person anymore, but somehow everyone seems to just see that version. It's such a weird feeling because you know you've changed, you know you've grown, you know that you are not that same person, but somehow you're the only one who believes it. And then you're trying so hard to convince everyone else to see it as well. And that is something I really understand. Before I moved to Miami, I lived in the Dominican Republic. And when I started school there, I was not the same person that I am right now, that is for sure. And something that was really difficult for me is that within like the first 2 months, I made like one mistake, and that is how I was seen for the rest of the school year. That is all people knew me as. There were rumors, there were opinions, there were things that people thought they knew about me, which they clearly didn't. And I think the hardest part wasn't even what people said, because I never cared about what people would say about me. But it was just the fact that it felt like people had already made up their minds about me. Like, no matter how much I changed or grew, people just saw that same version of me. And I think a lot of people can relate to that, and not just with rumors, but with labels. Oh, once you're the quiet kid, you're the quiet kid for the next 4 years. Last year, I was very quiet. This year, who knows how I'll be. They say, oh, that's the annoying kid. Now you're the annoying kid. That's the loud one. Now you're the loud one. That's the nice one. That's the mean one. And everyone just has these labels, and it's like everyone already knows who you are by one mistake or by a rumor or by anything, and done. It's like, okay, that's who I am now. Sometimes those labels begin to feel so normal that you forget to even question them. You start thinking, maybe that's just who I am. And I think for a while, I didn't realize how much I was letting other people's opinions affect me until I moved. So then I moved to Miami, and it was a weird feeling. Nobody knew me. Nobody knew my past. Nobody knew who I was. Nobody knew the things people had said. Nobody knew the things I had done. Nobody knew the version of me that existed back home. And at first, that was really scary because when nobody knows you, you have to figure out who you are all by yourself. There's no reputation to hide behind. There's no old version of yourself that people expect you to be. You just show up as yourself. And I remember realizing something. Nobody had written my story for me over here. It felt so freeing because I finally had the chance to rewrite my own story and not pay attention to whatever happened in the past, because there were literally no reminders of it. For the first time, I felt like I had the space to choose who do I want to be. Not pretend, not become a completely different person, not be a standard or whatever, but to choose who I truly want to be. And that's something I didn't fully understand before. Fresh start isn't becoming a fake version of yourself, it's just becoming the version of yourself that you have wanted to be this whole time. I think sometimes we view starting over as something scary, and it's understandable. You're just resetting, you're leaving things behind. It means not knowing what's next. But there's also something really beautiful about it. Starting over reminds you that you are not the same person you were 2 years ago. You can change who you want to be. You are not your worst moment. You are not who they say you are. You are whoever you say you are. We act like our identity is permanent, as if the moment that something happens, it's just set in stone and we're just gonna be that person forever. But no, people change, people grow, people explore new opportunities. You're literally still becoming yourself. You do not have to have everything figured out. So that's why I wanted to talk about this with school starting. I think school kind of gives us a smaller version of this feeling. Maybe you're not moving countries, maybe you're not starting at a completely new school, but you're walking into a new year, new classes, new teachers, new people, new opportunities. And I think a lot of people walk into the new school year with the same identity they had the year before. And of course, that's completely okay. But if the identity is something that other people made for you and not what you made for yourself, you have the chance to change. Even if the same exact people are in the classes, if the same exact teachers are there, if nothing is changing, you still have the chance to change yourself. What if this year you gave yourself permission to grow? And instead of asking yourself, how can people see me different? Why don't you ask yourself, how do I become someone I'm proud of? Because honestly, that is the only opinion that matters. Yours, not anyone else. At the end of the day, they're gonna make a comment about you and then they're gonna move on with their lives because they have their own problems to deal with. And if they are so worried about you, that just shows how obsessed they are with you. Because what do you mean? You got your own problems, you got your own life to worry about, and you're here all up in mine? Like, do you not have a life or something? You're trying to get someone else's? No, that's not how it works around here. They're gonna make rumors about you. Of course they are. Miserable people always make rumors. But don't let it define you. Why are you gonna let a miserable person define who you are? Like seriously? Like why would I do that in any universe? Why would that happen? I think one of the biggest questions we ask ourselves is not what do I want to achieve, but it's more of who do I want to become? Because your goals are connected to your identity. For example, maybe you want better grades, but maybe the deeper thing isn't about getting good grades. It's just about being more disciplined. Maybe you want to go to the gym, but the deeper thing is just that you want to be someone who takes care of their body. Every small choice you make is one step closer to the person that you want to become, even if it's just by 1%. If you're 1% better than you were yesterday, that is still progress. At least you're not 1% less than you were yesterday. No, you're getting better. And even if the steps are like this small, like super small, you're still going up. If nobody had any expectations of you, who would you be? If nobody remembered your past, what would you do? What parts of yourself would you keep? And what parts of yourself are you only holding on to because people expect that out of you? Because sometimes we spend so long trying to prove everyone else wrong that we forget to ask ourselves what we really want. So, my challenge for you this week, it is simple. Don't try to completely reinvent yourself. Don't wake up tomorrow and decide you're going to become a completely different person. Just make one choice that reflects the person you want to become. Maybe it's being kinder to yourself. Maybe it's putting in more effort in school. Maybe it's talking to someone new. Maybe it's letting go of a habit that doesn't benefit you anymore. Small choices matter because eventually those small choices become your life. If there's one thing I want you to take away from this episode, you don't have to wait for a new space, a new school, a new country, or a new area to become someone different. And that is something that I really wish I knew. I wish I could realize while I was in DR, I wish I had realized that I didn't need to wait to move to become a new person. Sadly, it took me moving to realize. But for those of you who aren't moving, or even if you are moving, you don't have to wait for some big change to happen. You can choose who you're becoming every day, no matter if it's the same normal day. As long as you want to change, you can do it at any time. Yeah, of course, people might remember who you are. People might remember old mistakes that you made. People might still have the image in their heads. But that doesn't mean you have to stay there. You can still grow. You are allowed to change. You are allowed to become someone new. So as the school year starts, don't ask yourself, who do people think I am? Or how am I going to be cooler this year? How am I going to get people to notice me? Just ask yourself, who do you want to be, regardless of what anyone says about you? Because at the end of the day, you are the person who gets to decide. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Finding Us. I really hope you enjoyed. And I really hope that this episode was a reminder that you are not stuck being the person who you used to be. And if you're also figuring yourself out right now, just like me, just know you are not alone. I'll see you next Sunday. Bye.